Comments from the West Contra Costa Unified School District. The West Contra Costa Unified School District will now have 10 minutes to comment, and our timekeeper will give you a 15-second warning near the conclusion. Thank you.
Good evening. It's nice to see you all again. This is becoming quite a habit with us, isn't it? My name is Dr. Linda Delgado. I represent West Contra Costa, and I am happy to be here and update you briefly on some of the exciting things that have been happening in our district. We have completed the process for our town hall meetings and our information gathering, which will guide our strategic plan. The strategic plan has laid out some very clear objectives and the various steps necessary to accomplish them, and we are absolutely delighted to have started in on transforming our district. This evening when I left the Vista School site, I passed by a group of young men and women who were energetically adding computers to the school site campus, and I believe it is by the end of this year we will be entirely remade in our technological offerings for our students. Now, on to the petition. As you see, the two findings that we made, the petition failed to adequately state the means by which the school will achieve a racial and ethnic balance among its pupils that is reflective of the general population residing in the jurisdiction of the school district. The second finding was the petition failed to adequately describe transportation options for the charter school students. And while we also had concerns in the budget so far as laying claim to various loans and such that the charter school hopes to acquire, we would respectfully point out that a hope to acquire a loan is not a loan in hand. Now, to go back to the district's stated findings, to understand and explore these concerns that were expressed by our board members, we went and looked carefully at the proposal, and we started with the signature page. The signature page is fairly lightly dismissed by some, but I would argue that it was put there for a profound reason. And that reason was to determine, is there actually local support for the charter that's being proposed? I will return to that question. As you no doubt have noticed on the signature page, if you review, you'll see that for the 14-15 school year, there were a total of 20 students. So the petitioners are offering that they have good community support. I would argue that 20 students is not actually such great support. Beyond 2015, there were only 91 students represented. Naturally, the pledge that you may one day enroll your toddler is an interesting thing to ponder, but not something I would count on. So it looks to me as if community support was actually fairly light. On page 9 of the Summit Public Charter submission, it says, quote, in 2013, parents and community members from West Contra approached Summit Public Schools to discuss the possibility of opening a Summit model school in the area. Well, it turns out that according to journalist and author Annette Fuentes, the meeting was actually initiated by Mr. and Mrs. Chamberlain, philanthropists who have recently moved into our community and have supported each of the charters around which we have met these last several sessions. So, the charter introduction continues to suggest that with the support and encouragement of West Contra families, they submit the petition. Again, I would like to draw your attention to the fact that those numbers don't exactly support that there is a great deal of community interest. Finally, I have a map here which, if I may approach the board and hand this out, this flags where each of the signatures were from that were submitted. So, as you'll see, the signatures are from a very, very narrow portion of the community. When I was talking with the founders, who were very pleasant, very helpful people, and I'm sure have the most excellent of intentions, I was assured that the founding team would be aggressively seeking to enroll the balanced demographics of the rest of the district. I would like to point out that many of these wonderful students who are behind me are actually from one of our other charter schools, Richmond College Prep. Would you all wave? Everybody from, yeah. I know because these were my students back in the day. I'm delighted to see them. I see that many of them have grown approximately 50% from where they last were. But I would encourage you to wonder how it is that all of these students were bussed here and put into the lovely T-shirts, and is that actually a very transparent method of demonstrating that they have community support. So finally, let's see if I've covered everything. The problems with transportation. The intention is to put all of these, some 600-700 students into a site that was built for less than 300 students. It is in a neighborhood that is not well supplied with public transportation. There are limited bus options, and I do think that it's liable to be a serious and significant impact upon the community so far as children coming and going and parents dropping off. I would also note that with an elementary or a middle school, you have parents driving children. When you open it up to a high school, you will have high school students driving in and out as well. I do think that's going to be a serious impact on the community. Let's see. I think, finally, I would like to close by returning to the issue of transparency. When the Summit Public Schools presented their petition to our district, they were very directly asked by Madeline Cronenberg if they had a specific site picked out. And there were many comments to the effect of, well, we're working on that, and all sorts of assurances that there was no such site. But within 5 days of the submission, it turned out that actually there probably is a site, and that site is the one that was of concern to our board members. Again, built for 300 students and now expected to grow to accommodate 700. It appears to be sending a signal that transparency is important for public board meetings such as this, for institutions such as West Contra Costa, but not everybody plays by the same rules. I find that troubling. And I will close by saying that, back to transparency, we were assured that our concerns regarding racial and ethnic balance were unfounded because Ms. Kelly Garcia, the principal, was going to be aggressively full-time recruiting in the neighborhood. As I understand, that is not the case, and she is now serving as principal full-time in one of the SPS schools. Mr. Diego suggested that they have enthusiastically approached us also with collaboration. And so far, unfortunately, the collaboration that we have been offered is that SPS students will play on our sports teams with our high school students, and that's the collaboration that we have been offered. As you see, that's sort of a one-way invitation, and it sounds a little more like it will be more of West Contra Costa doing more with less, and less of a collaboration. I thank you for considering the petition. Unfortunately, I have to leave and make another meeting back at West Contra, and if you have questions, may I ask that you ask them sooner rather than later so I can attend?
Thank you.